Hi, it's Thomas Ellis Jr. and welcome to the 2022 the Millington Star Athlete of the Year finalist show, where we're going to count down the 7 girls who are the finalists and the 7 boys who are finalists for the 2021-22 TWSAA school year in athletics. The requirements: you need to be a sophomore to a senior. Also, you need to participate in 2 or more sports in the TWSAA calendar. And you got to be pretty awesome. And this year we have some awesome candidates. So we're going to come back and we're going to break down each one. We're going to start off with the young ladies first, and we're going to head out to TRA, and our first nominee, and yes, we're doing this in alphabetical order, Ryleigh Bowers, softball player extraordinaire. Also played a little basketball this year, mixed it up down there in the paint, helped TRA girls have a resurgence on the basketball court. It was slim numbers this past year for the Lady Rebels, but Ryleigh was very crucial on the inside. But her sport that's got her going to the next level is softball. Power hitter. She hit the top of the lineup for Coach Sanfratello's group, helped them get to state. So Ryleigh Bowers definitely earned her spot here in nomination. Okay, next we have another Lady Rebel, Kayla Clement. Also softball and basketball. Pretty much the same story to her teammate Ryleigh Bowers. She joined the basketball team on the guard as a guard, helped out on the front court with Raven Sims, helped them make a late push as it stated earlier. But in softball, she's heading out to Chattanooga to play at the next level. Top of the lineup batter. I think she bat number 2 in the lineup to help the Lady Rebels get to state. And oh yeah, best thing about her game, a golden glove at third base. You hit anything towards her, it's going to get sucked up and it's heading to first base in record time. So Kayla Clement definitely earned her nomination as an Athlete of the Year candidate. Okay, now we head over to Millington for a Lady Trojan who was busy all year around, Kalia Duckworth. Man, she made a surge this year of epic proportion. In soccer, she was the goal, but she scored the game-winning goal in the playoff game in sudden death. So she shows you she got that kind of ability. Then she takes up softball in the spring and becomes a power hitter and a great outfielder. Her speed, her quick hand-eye coordination definitely served her well this year, and she definitely earned this spot in nomination. As you can see, we're going to stay in Millington with this next nominee, a very familiar name. This is her 3rd time being nominated. Miss Halliburton definitely is well known throughout the area for soccer, Defensive Player of the Year in her region. Basketball was a Miss Basketball finalist in the group that before they made it to the final 3. And then she goes to state in track in the 200 meter and was known for a 400 meter run. So a well-rounded athlete, and she'd be heading to the next level at CBU in track. So it's no brainer. Micaiah Halliburton has to be nominated. So for the next nominee on the girls, we head back to Tipton Rosemar. Brooke Harrison. That's a name you're going to have to listen for the next couple years. She was the libero on the volleyball team, good defensive player, and she's going to get even better at that sport as she develops in the game. But I can tell you right now, softball, that's her sport. That's the sport she's going to be signing in the next level. Great leadoff hitter, was a huge reason why the Lady Rebels won the West Region this year over St. Benedict, and in their 26-year run at the top. And then they head up to state and made some noise against all those teams from Chattanooga. Brooke Harrison was the first face that you saw in that batter's box, and she definitely is going to be there for a while and be a superstar. But Brooke Harrison earned her nomination for 2022. Now we head to Brighton up there in Tipton County for my girl Brie Howard. Volleyball is what she plays in August to kind of warm herself up. But the sport that she's known for across the state, because she's all state in, is softball. Great catcher and a power hitter. I think she might have been one of the top leaders in home runs in the state, and was a huge reason why the Lady Cardinals made it to state this past year and made a furious comeback in districts to win that and dominated in regionals to take that. So Brie Howard has definitely earned a spot as a nominee for 2022. We wrap up the girl nominations with Kiara McGhee out of Millington. McGhee for 3 was a common thing heard in the William Osteen Gymnasium over the last couple of years. She's a 1,000-point scorer for a career, about 500 points at Memphis Central, about 500 at Millington Central. Basketball is a sport that she's going to the next level at Jackson State to play. But her hobby of soccer, she's the 2nd leading scorer on the team this year. Was a huge reason why they had success and made a run to sub-state this year and hosted the sub-state game. So Keria McGhee, wraps up our girl nominations, and let's get ready to hear our 7 male nominations. What is that here? Oh, I don't hear bells, but I'm about to talk about a bell right now, Mr. Jordan Bell. That night is going to ring a bell for years to come. He's only a sophomore. Let me stop with the bell puns, because Jordan Bell is for real. He is dead serious. Quarterback for the Mumford football team, regional champions. Basketball, helped the teams reach regionals by playing in the interior, rebounder, enforcer type. Then, his springtime hobby is running track. A couple relay teams make it up to state. His 4x100 meter relay team finishes second in the state, and he runs the anchor leg. So Jordan Bell is a total all-around athlete, and a 90. I'm going to get familiar with saying it as a nominee for the Millington Star Athlete of the Year, but this is nomination for 2022. Is there a plane out here? No, I hear the chirping of a bird. Is that Tyler Byrd? Well, some people think of him as Superman. This kid was awesome this past year. You saw him on the basketball court, just put a cape on him. Comes flying through the lane, dunking on you. Mr. Basketball for Division II Single A this year. First Mr. Basketball in Tipton Rosemark Academy history. But before he got to the basketball season, some of his classmates and coaches convinced him to go out for football. So he does a little punt return, a little wide receiver. All-state. So this man's all-state in 2 sports this year. You know he had to be a nominee. So Tyler Byrd, we're going to chirp away with your nomination. Okay, I promise you, this is the last pun. We're going to dig a Graves. Okay, I'm just kidding. TJ would beat me up if he saw that. But TJ Graves, once again, is a nominee for Millington Star Athlete of the Year. Man, how many people can say they're all region on both sides of the line? Well, TJ Graves can. Defense and offensive line was a force for the Millington Trojans the last 4 years. Then wrestling, he's been to state the last 3 years. Might have to fact check that, but he's continuously gone to state in the heavyweight division and made some noise there. Then this year, he decided to take up his childhood sport of baseball with some pitching, showing some relief effort, playing third base, and he delivered the district clinching hit for the Trojans baseball team, the first time they won district in almost 40 years. So TJ Graves had a memorable year. He's heading off to St. John's football up in Minnesota, a storied traditional program. They wanted him. They came all the way down here to Millington, Tennessee to take up, some people know him as Tony Graves Jr., but we know him as TJ Graves, and we also know him as a nominee for Athlete of the Year. We're staying here in Millington for this next nominee, Garrett Haley. Garrett Haley, the name speaks for itself. His family is involved in coaching, athletics, and very prominent in the city of Millington, but he's made a name for himself. Football, his junior year, he had a breakout season as a receiver, but this year was a little bit different. People were double teaming him, so he had to use his blocking. So Millington's running game numbers went up because he had great outside exterior blocking for his running backs. And he caught a few timely passes when he needed to. But wrestling was the thing that he hung his hat on. 138-pound division, one of the top wrestlers in the state. Went to state this year, won a couple matches. Had a great rivalry with a guy that I'm going to mention in a little while. But Garrett Haley definitely earned his second nomination as Athlete of the Year candidate. Okay, our next nominee comes from Mumford, Tennessee. He popped up out of nowhere to some people, Jace Hodgin. Now, don't confuse him with his brother known as Ice. Ice, his older brother, is getting ready to head off to play college football down in Mississippi. But Jace, we got one more year with. He was the running back, number 17 on the football team. He was the change of pace guy from Ovick White. He was the little, he'd run the jet sweeps and all that kind of stuff. So he's a speedster. He used that speed in track this past year to be part of those relay teams. And he also learned how to compete in 10 events and finish second in the state in the decathlon this past year in Class 2A. So he said he's coming back to break the record next year set by his teammate that's going to be mentioned again. And he's going to set the points record at school. He has a tall task ahead of him, but I think his senior year he's going to make some noise. But for his junior year, he's earned a spot as a nominee. Our next nominee, we're going to stay in Mumford for a young man that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. But forgive me, I can't pronounce your name, but everybody calls you Mo because you're the state champion in the 132-pound weight division in state. So trust me, you had the momentum all year. Phenomenal wrestler, kept just, in his 4 years in the program, just kept getting better and better, and it culminated and you win the state championship this year. And you played soccer this year, one of the leading scorers on the soccer team for the Cougars this year. But the thing that amazes me most about Mo is the amount of respect that he has from all his teammates. This guy right here, they said you didn't want to practice against him because he was going to bring it to you and he was tough. You know, everybody has nothing but positive things to say about him. And I know when he heads off to the Ozarks to compete in wrestling on the college level, people are going to continue to have that tremendous amount of respect for him. So Mo, you definitely earned this nomination, state champion, and I applaud you. And here's your nomination. And our last nominee, Mr. Christian Perez, the aforementioned Christian Perez. When I was talking about Garrett Haley's tough rival in Mumford, that's who I was talking about. I was talking about the guy that Jace Hodgin wants to break his record next year. This is the young man I'm talking about. He finished first in the state in the decathlon, Mumford's first ever male state champion in any track event, and competed in a bunch of relay events the second night up there at Murfreesboro this past year. Also played a little football, but also people know him as the guy down the mat. 138-pound weight division. Mo said he wouldn't have been a state champion if it wasn't for this guy practicing with him every day. So Christian Perez, who just got a scholarship to Lemoyne, where he gets to create magic with the magicians, got that coming up in track, so he has a bright future ahead of him. And he definitely just came on late and had a late charge to earn his nomination and be a serious candidate for Athlete of the Year. And now we'll be back in a second to tell you about our online voting this year, our social media and things like that. And you get to have a say-so who will be our Athlete of the Year. So we'll be right back.
You thought you were going to get through an Athlete of the Year without me? Of course not. I'm here to tell you how you can vote for your athlete. There are 3 platforms that you can vote through: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. First, Instagram voting will open on Sunday, this Sunday, through the Millington Star's Instagram story, and it will be 24 hours. Moms, dads, grandma, aunties, uncles, I know you love Facebook, so go out and vote on the Millington Star newspaper Facebook page and like your athlete's photo. Coaches, I know you're on Twitter, so get the word out and like your athlete's photo. Don't retweet, hit the heart. Voting for Facebook and Twitter will close on June 24th. So go out and vote. Bye.
That was Taliyah Chalmers. Wow. That's strange face. Been busy with college and everything. But hey, you know she had to be a part of it because hey, she came up with the online voting and she came up with Star Moments. So hey, this is very dear to her. And a lot of the athletes she's seen over the years, she's seen them grow and mature over the years. So like I'm putting in sweat right now. You kids are putting in a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, even some blood at some point in time to earn your nomination here today. And this award has been going on for more than a decade. A lot of great names have won this award, and we take it very seriously here. So throughout the month of June, because it does feel like July today, it's kind of hot, but throughout the month of June, we want you to go on those 2 social media platforms, on the Millington Star newspaper page on Facebook and vote, and then on Twitter and vote. Then Instagram this Sunday, June the 12th, we're doing it one day only. So make sure you hit that name and put the name. We tally that up. Each one will count for 1 vote. Our staff will vote, and we have a special couple contributors will vote as well. And then we're going to see who's the winner, and then we'll announce it at the end of the month, who will be the 2022 Male and Female Athlete of the Year. So remember, get out there and vote. And hey, best of luck to the 14 names that we mentioned here today. Thank you for your time.